Hey everyone, welcome back to I Dream of Homestead. I'm Josephina and today we are in the kitchen making some chicken burritos. This meal is a subscriber request and I just wanted to take another minute to thank all of you guys again because holy cow, there are almost 1,000 of you now and like you guys, my heart. I cannot tell you how grateful I am for every single one of you and every single one of the sweet comments you guys are constantly leaving me. You guys are so encouraging, so uplifting, and I am in awe. So thank you. Now let's get over to this meal. So to prepare for these burritos, I made refried beans and some Mexican rice. I will link down in the description box the video that I have where I make those two. But if you guys do want me to make it its own separate video, so one video just Mexican rice, one video just refried beans, just to make it easier for you guys, I can definitely do that. Just let me know down in the comments. But like I said, I went ahead and made those ahead of time, as well as boiling and shredding 4 chicken thighs because this is for my family and we are 4. I did 1 thigh per person for this meal. Before I jump into actually cooking, I did want to share one huge tip for me that I recommend to anyone. If you are going to boil, whether it's chicken breast, chicken thighs, or any kind of meat, make it a stock. Anytime I'm trying to boil any kind of protein, I add in usually about half of an onion, 2 to 4 cloves of garlic, some peppercorns, and some bay leaves and salt into the water so that while it's boiling, I'm creating a stock that I can then strain and save for later. So after I shredded the chicken, I set aside my broth and then a container that I'm going to strain that into, and then I pop that in the freezer so that I can use that anytime that I would normally use water in a recipe, switch it up for some stock, and makes all the difference in the world. I shredded my chicken in a mixer just to make it so much easier for me while it was still hot. That way it's less work for me. So before I start slicing, I'm going to preheat this pan and add in about 2 tablespoons of oil. For the chicken filling, aside from having these 4 chicken breasts that I shredded, I'm gonna add 1 whole bell pepper, 2 Roma tomatoes, half of a large onion, and 4 cloves of garlic. I love garlic, so if this seems like too much to you, you can use as much as is best for you. I'm gonna slice all these vegetables roughly the same size. So for the onion, I'm just cutting it in half and then doing some thin slices. And because I'm throwing the onion and tomato in at the same time, I'm gonna go ahead and slice up the tomato as well. For this, I'm just cutting it in half and then cutting it into strips this way. And now both of these will go into that hot oil. While those onions and tomatoes are cooking on low, I'm gonna slice up the bell pepper. And now these will join the tomato and onions. And last, I'm gonna mince up this garlic. So when it comes to mincing garlic, I recommend smashing it as much as you can before you start chopping at it so that it gets into smaller bits. See? It gets it into these smaller, easier to chop up sizes. Now that I have the garlic mixed into it and the veggies are starting to soften, I'm gonna add in salt and pepper, and you'll just do that to taste. So I got distracted by my kids and I hit the pause button, and then I continued to record as if I had hit the record button again. So the only other thing that you guys missed for this is that I added in some oregano, and then once I sauteed the oregano, I added 1 cup of the broth from what I boiled the chicken in, as well as the shredded chicken. And I've had it just kind of simmering here for about 3 minutes. And so I'm gonna go ahead and check that for seasoning. And as I was saying to no one when I thought I hit the record button, you don't want this to be a soupy chicken. You want it to just kind of be a little bit saucy. Basically, you want it to have moisture on it. You don't want just this dry chicken, but you also don't want it to be soupy because then your burrito is gonna fall apart. So the chicken is all done. You can see that there's not like a ton of liquid in there. It's just got this nice saucy feel to it. Now remember that I've told you guys before that my recipes are just guidelines. You don't have to do things strictly this way. If you don't like seeing vegetable like this throughout, you can dice up, mince up, make it bigger if you like it chunkier than that. I'm also going to be trying out these flour tortillas that are made out of almond flour because I cannot have gluten. Taking some sensitivity tests and found out that I have sensitivities to gluten and dairy, so I do not add any kind of dairy into my food, but everything that I make, I have the option on the side so that my family can have theirs with the gluten and all the dairy and all the cheese and all of the things that they still love. So you'll see me make my burrito with these. Okay, so I've gently peeled away one of the tortillas out of the packet. You can see that they're raw. And I'm just gonna place it on my comal, which I have set to low. And I think on a regular stove, that would probably be about a medium low, but my stove lets out these like raging flames at every level, it seems. So low is where I'm set. And I don't know if you can tell on camera, but the color is starting to change and you can see these bubbles starting to form, and that's how you know it's cooking well. So I'm gonna give this a flip. Okay, I've got it heated up. Okay, so to fill, I've got some mozzarella that I have shredded. And here's to hoping I don't accidentally overfill, but I'm gonna add in some beans. And that's probably about 3 tablespoons worth. Some Mexican rice. And some of that chicken filling. Now you can go Moe's and Chipotle style with these and add in all the toppings that you want, but I'm gonna keep these nice and simple. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but I did do the filling more off towards me just to make rolling easier. So to do that, you're gonna fold in the sides, and then I kind of give it a press. Make sure you tuck in the ends that are away from you in just a little more, and then bring up the edge and holding this part of the burrito down, so holding the sides down with your fingers, you bring it up and you kind of do like a curl to scoop it in and pull it back, and then you can continue rolling, and that's it. That's your beautiful little burrito. And I left the comal on, so it's still on low, and I'm gonna put the burrito on there, and that's gonna help seal it off. Roll it over and get the other side. All right, she is ready to eat. So just to show you with the other type of flour tortilla, I've heated one up, and the purpose of heating these up, aside from the other ones being raw, is so that it makes it pliable, because tortillas break super easy when they're just cold and right out of the pack. Ta-da! Okay guys, so remember that that I have these gluten-free tortillas for me just because of my gluten sensitivity. So please don't judge my little baby burrito. This thing is so cute. I did taste the tortilla by itself, and the flavor's great. The texture, it's not terrible. It's just, as most gluten-free things do, falls apart really easy, cracks, crumbles. But the flavor is great. So I'm just gonna take a bite of my little bited burrito. Oh, that's good. Okay. The flavor of all of this is absolutely amazing. My kids are currently on the couch enjoying their full gluten tortilla burritos. I'm literally gonna finish this thing in like 6 bites. Don't judge me. Real quick side note, after I finished my little baby burrito, I just served myself a little tiny bit on the plate, and having this as just a dish of like rice, beans, and the chicken on the side, chef's kiss. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, I hope that you're willing to hit that subscribe button and stick around with me on this journey to becoming a homesteader. I'll see you in the next one. Clean up, everybody, everywhere. Clean up, everybody do your share.